Whoa. I guess I got my times all messed up again. Hmm. But I didn't mess up on the Starbucks coffee. Actually, I did. That's 3-in-1 that's in there. That's the best that I could do this. I messed up on the time, but Dan is live. So let's get on with this show. I scheduled it, I guess. I scheduled it upside down on my phone. Yep. Oh, knit band. When you taking off? You're wait. We're talking. We're talking. It's like talking on the phone, right? Because you and I were the only ones here. I guess I. I guess I messed up on the time. Oh no, no. Aileen Cruz is here. I could always count on Aileen to be here. Crystals is here. Hey, I've been buffering. I've been well, I've been backstage. I've been buffering a lot, and so I don't know if we're going to survive this or not. I may end up putting my avatar up. Oh, and by the way, it's Chinese New Year's Eve, and the fireworks have already started here in Pattaya. It is somewhere around um, 6 a.m. in the morning. So 6 a.m. in the morning. This is the best shot that we're going to have in order to do it live. I think from the hotel room with unstable internet. I haven't been lucky on the internet side. There's no way to rate the internet when you're booking a room. It just says free internet. That's all. It doesn't tell you that you have to go down the hallway, around the corner, and down the block in order to get a good signal. Okay, so this is kind of it's interesting to me, but Nib Band will be headed this way, and we have plans on hooking up and saying hello to each other. Nib Band being from the Sacramento area, and so Nib Band has a long flight, here to Thailand via some other country where he has a very long layover. LRJ, what do you say? What is LRJ Malos? Is that LRJ? So Nitban and Minnie and I were gonna hook up. And Minnie says hello. She's in the shower right now, but she said, "Crystal's Adventure says to say hello to me. Tell her I said hi." Yes, it's the Lunar New Year. That's what it is. Uh-huh. Oh, I just saw the I just saw the fade out there. Yeah, another thing we could try is if it starts fading out, I could always put my avatar up, and we could save some bandwidth. Is that what it's called? Bandwidth? I don't know. I'm not a techie, so yeah. There's fireworks that just went off out there. Just outside the window here. And so I don't know. We should be out there celebrating before the sun comes up. I don't know what sunrise is here. I think sunrise happens in. Oh, I don't know. Sunrise here. I don't see the sun coming up yet. So maybe we got another hour to go before sunrise here in Pattaya, Thailand. Ah, Lazy Larry Lee is here. Larry Lee, what do you see? What's it going to be today? Mingay is here. Yahoo, good morning to you. Yeah, so anyway, things have been going all right. I just wanted to give you a few impressions, that I have of Thailand so far. So, hey, there's no doubt in my mind that I'm madly in love with Bangkok. Always have been, always will be. That city is just amazing. So easy to get around. So easy to get around, and I never feel stressed, even though It's been restrictions. They just relaxed the restrictions, and for the Chinese, and they're coming in planes, trains, and automobiles. They're coming in by the busloads. And so it's amazing to see all the people pour in to Thailand right now by the millions. And I would suspect that Nidban is going to be on one of them buses. Right, Nidban? Yeah, I suspect Nidban will be on one of the tour buses coming in. In any event, so that means it's busy here in Pattaya. That means it's very, very busy. And so crowded, a little bit uncomfortable, and it drives the prices of everything skyrocket. So I mean, in Bangkok, you have way more choices of like food to eat, things like that. You know, where if you're in a mood where you don't want to spend money, you can definitely find it just about anywhere. But here in Pattaya, you have to search around for it. I mean, there's street food stands. There's street food stands. There's no doubt about that. But even the street food vendors have raised their prices on the food, knowing that this is the gimme deal. You know, it's make or break. You know, they've been dormant for all these years, and so now they're getting out there and they're making hay while the sun shines. That's the only way to put it. If I were the business guy, you know, I like making money. I like making money just like the next person, right? But I would kind of balance everything out, going, okay, you know, I'm gonna make money, but I don't want to gouge because I don't want to leave. You know, I don't want people to be mad at me. Tim's here. Tim, hi, how are you? Great video you posted on that. You probably have posted 5 or 6 or 8 more since the one that you posted on immigration. But oh yeah, I have to go through that. I have to re-enter the country pretty soon. So I have to go on the website and fill out all the paperwork and stuff like that. So I just want to say, so the vendors are kind of jacking up prices, and so is the 7-Eleven. The 7-Eleven, well, the 7-Eleven has always gotten a premium for their, product, but having to go in there and then pay, I don't know, inflation, is it that bad? I guess it is. Having to go into the 7-Eleven and pay $1.50 for American money for a can of beer, a small 12-ounce can of beer that normally would go for something like, I don't know, 50 cents. So they're doubling their prices on stuff. Well, on the beer anyway. Buffering, yeah, I know it's horrible. It's horrible. It's horrible. What can a live streamer do, when they get bad internet? Yeah, I could definitely see the Larice, the Philippines' most eligible bachelorette and socialite. Hey, if you're in the Philippines and you don't know who Larice is, I have to question whether you actually live in the Philippines. And Larice Resurrection is here. Yes. Lots of mooncakes on sale, Sir Dan. Well, I have to be honest with you, Crystals. I haven't seen a whole bunch of mooncake stands out there. I have seen a lot of donut stands, though. So, I'm in my element where donuts are involved. Yes, indeed. I haven't had much luck in Dunkin' Donut stands, but Mr. Donut is here. Yeah. Let's see. I thought I saw LV Rose. LV Rose is here. Good morning, LV. L, are you having a nice day? Are you having a nice start to the weekend? Planes, trains, and automobiles, partially filmed in the hometown of New York. Be there for 6 weeks. You lucky. Well, I don't know what I'm saying. because I've been in Southeast Asia now for quite a few months. Don't plan on going back to the States just yet, you know. Probably not until next year, September, maybe. Leonard Lund from Houston is in the house. What would the stream be without Leonard? How's life in the big city? How's life dodging the bullets in the big city of Houston, where everybody's packing? Maybe they're not. Actually, I don't know where that came from. I just said it. It just came out. Oh my gosh, I'm having such a wild time. Yeah, so I turned off the AC, so it's getting warm in here. And also, you're going to hear the fireworks in the background, and then I'm buffering. You know, I am buffering, and there's nothing I can do about fixing that. You know, the internet's the internet that's offered up here in this room and house. I guess this is more of a guest house. Minnie and I have discovered, and it hasn't been too busy. We haven't seen a whole bunch of people coming and going, which is interesting, you know, because we're in the heart of the, how should I say this? We're in the heart of the entertainment district. So there are a lot of weird things that we have seen. Some of them I cannot talk about. Some of them I could talk about, but I probably shouldn't talk about for fear of getting banned. No, I probably wouldn't be banned. I probably wouldn't be banned. I would be penalized. Yeah, that's right. If they don't know who Larice is, they have been sleeping under a rock or they've been in a cave. That's exactly the truth. So anyway, my impression. So love Bangkok, but Pattaya, man, I'm telling you, you know. So I'm thinking about. Let me tell you what my biggest complaint about being here is. Right where I am now, here in this fine beach resort community of Pattaya or Pattaya or however you want to pronounce it. Oh, by the way, just like to point out that every YouTuber in the world is here right now. It's very difficult to walk down the street without someone holding a camera or a gimbal. And I mean everybody that you know that you watch on YouTube. They, with the exception of Larice, they're here today. They're here. They're out there. They're out there on the street filming all the craziness that's going out there so they can get cheap views on YouTube. Hey, there is no one cheaper than I, let me tell you. I'm the king of cheap. Where did let's see, where did Crystals go? Because I wanted to show her something. I wanted to show Crystal something. Yeah. My main channel's still on live, Sir Dan. Oh. Okay. That's great. That's great. Thanks for letting me know. Share the stream. Thank you. And you are not buffering. Not the moment. Not the moment. Because I took some buffering. To help me stop buffering. Buffering's aspirin, right? Yeah, no. Headache. I don't have any headaches. But anyway, I know you all are very busy out there. I just wanted to was getting ready to comment on what my biggest frustration is, right? So I'm thinking about doing a video, right? It's going to be called Thailand. No, Pattaya. What a trip. Yeah, you got it. You guessed it. So the trip part would be the uneven sidewalks. Now, Tim, I've talked about this. Tim's made comments. Tim says it's hard to walk anywhere in Southeast Asia without, spraining an ankle or twisting an ankle or quite possibly even fracturing something important. And I'm kind of not enjoying walking around, and that is the number one way that you get around here is that you have to walk around. Guide Sent TV is here. Okay, I'm an unavailable bachelor is your new status, huh? Unavailable. Let's see. I wanted to show Crystal something, but I'm sure she's here listening in the background. But Crystals, where are you? Oh yeah, Knitpan. But yeah, do most people here know that you're young in Knitpan? That you're young, up and coming, very wealthy superstar? Yeah, that's right. I didn't make many. That's right. But I will tell you this, Tim. I have enough videos in the can to last me all year. I don't know what the heck I'm going to do. It's probably going to drive Miss V, video editor, crazy, because I'm not very organized. Then she has to go in there, figure out what I've been doing, and then make a story. And she likes maintaining the timeline, and I told her, don't worry about that. People just want to live the dream, don't worry about the timeline. They just want to live the dream. Wow, that's delicious. That's a Chinese New Year celebration dish, I would say. Mame is here. Just leave my phone on in the background, Sir Dan. I'm preparing breakfast because I'll do a live stream also. Sounds great. Thanks for coming to mine. And I'm happy we didn't step on each other. I eat only Thai food when in Thailand. American food is not the real thing. American Thai food is not the real thing. That's true. And we went to last night. We went to the runway night market, night food stalls, Nipan. Something possibly that we should do when you're here. But I don't know how many planes crash into buildings or landing in urban neighborhoods. I can stand because I did videos. There are planes everywhere around here, right on the ground. Planes that are crashing into sides of buildings. Artwork I'm talking about, not actually crashing into buildings. And planes landing, planes taking off, planes being salvaged, planes dormant. Okay, Crystals, hey, I just wanted to show you this. All right, so look what I got for you. No, it's not a real live elephant. I actually had I had to actually take this take this elephant to go get all what's it called where they stuff the elephant? Yeah, no elephants have been harmed in the making of this video. But this is your, or you can have this elephant. This is a more traditional elephant. Elephant fights. But one of these is yours, Crystals. I just don't know how to get it to you. It's the only way I can think of getting an elephant for you without without getting in trouble, with customs. That's funny. All right, so Mame, what do you say? What's it gonna be today? Hey, let me ask you guys a question. Would you be able to put up with crooked streets? I mean, even in the Philippines, they're working a little bit on leveling everything all out, making sure the sidewalks. They're improving their walkability, and in parts of the Philippines. Probably this work is in progress everywhere, and they're doing it here in Thailand, just not here. For example, if you go to Bangkok, we know what streets to take in order to not to have to trip over ourselves trying to get somewhere important. Yeah. So I mean, there you go. We we just do the best we can. But for an old man, I mean, honestly, you have a lot of old people hanging around here, right? And so, I mean, you got old retirees hanging around, right? And some of them they're having canes, right? They're walking around with a walking stick, and I worry about that. Some are in a wheelchair, which I don't know. I would say that if you're in a wheelchair, you have to put industrial strength shock absorbers on it. But I mean, getting around is a little bit tough, and avoiding getting run over by a bike or a trike or a bot bus is a little bit even more challenging because they'll be like, "You're gonna move, you're gonna move." You're going to move or I'm going to move you. That's how some of them drivers are out there. Yeah, that's right. I have it for you. I have the elephant. The elephant in the room. Yeah. So anyway, no. Like I said, no elephants have been harmed in the making of this video. Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, that's the biggest deal. The biggest deal is your step, and it's hard work, after a day of walking around, doing all the tourist stuff, you get your calves are beat. I mean, I'm an old man. Like I said, I'm beat, by the time we get back to the room, I'm just, oh my goodness gracious. Don't know what to do. Yes, Larry's, I'm running elephant. I'm the elephant in the room. All right, but other than that, so I just want to say that uh, the tourists are coming back. It's not exactly how I remember it to be. I mean, we were here a few months ago. Man, Minnie and I, yes, we love Thailand. We've been here a couple times, and it's not. Its heyday probably was of course a post virus year, of course, and I mean, there were so many people packed in the entertainment district here in Pattaya that you couldn't even move sideways, and you're holding on to your stuff. I mean, all your stuff, because people are grabbing. They're pushing, they're grabbing you, and I mean they're grabbing you. Larice, that kind of grabbing. Yeah, elephants don't usually sound like horses. I have to work on the elephant. My elephant sound bites. Mm. Okay, well, unfortunately, we polished off way too many Chang beers, right? And so the thing is that, like I said, they get $3 a beer in the bar, if not more, if they're doing, a girly show or something like that, right? And the one thing, elephant, Winnie. So here's the thing about what's been going on in the street. So some young lady, I would say, very attractive young lady in her mid 20s, comes up to me and shoves this thing in my face, right? I mean, she shoved it in my face and says, hey, you want to see a show? Oh, I'm up for a show. And then I looked down on her program, and it was, well, it just wasn't a family friendly show. Let's put it that way, right? In fact, I didn't even know they did those sorts of things around the world. I thought that I thought that stuff went away decades ago. Thank you, ma'am. Buffering. I saw buffering. Buffering. Yeah. So. Oh yeah. But here's the thing. I kind of was leading up to this. Thailand is a very, very. I mean, my experience so far. I mean, Bangkok. Believe it or not, I found it to be more reasonably priced than what's going on here in Pattaya. I mean, they're jamming it to the tourists. I mean, honestly. So I'm sure that if I bounced over to Jom Tien Beach, which is just a 15-minute bot bus ride. Did I say bot butt? Bot ride from here, bot bus. Then it probably would be a little bit more tame, but I'm not sure. Maybe that's the thing that Minnie and I should do. Maybe we should get on the bot bus, which is a lot like a jeepney, except newer and a lot less smoggier, because they're using Toyotas and Nissans and different things like that, brand new ones. And maybe we ought to jump on one of them and head over to Jom Tien Beach, which is just a 15-minute bot bus ride from here. Well, they're interesting experiences, but I'm not sure there are any that I'm allowed to talk about. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah. 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 See, it's expensive. Yeah, I guess NetBand is sort of right. If you're out there and you're in the entertainment area, you're gonna pay for it one way or another. Dan, you expect it to tone it down because you are sensitive. Yeah. Well, thank you for recognizing that I'm a very sensitive guy. So anyway, Laurice, Laurice. Hey, so that's pretty much, and so the beach is the way that I remembered. Of course, as I was saying, remember it from 4 or 5 months ago. 5 months ago, it was a ghost town around here. Minnie and I were just walking up and down the beach, wiggling our toes in the sand, and we'd call out, "Anybody here? Here, here, here!" And then off in the distance, you see a whale or something. You'd see dolphins. I don't know. The beach is not exactly a pristine. I don't know how to put it. Without. Yeah, I guess I put it that way. They're working on what's it called? Like they did down there in Boracay. Where they're doing reclamation work. Is that the way to say it? They're improving things here on the beach in Pattaya, and I think a few things need to be improved. But now over at Jomtien, they're doing a fine job. They've been working on. Hmm. Yeah, when it buffers, you guys just go take a break, grab yourself a drink, cup of coffee, something like that. So Jomtien is a lot nicer beach, but I still don't see many people going into the water for obvious reasons. Mel is here. Mel, how you doing? Thanks for coming to the live. I appreciate it. 13 people and Aileen Cruz is here. 13 people in the house. Of course, my most favorite cast of characters are here. Oh, wait. Let's see what Nitban says. I just passed over an important point. Yeah, if you live in Chiang Mai, it's pretty cheap. That's right. It's very cheap, and it's. I don't know how to put Chiang Mai, into perspective. It's kind of like I'm trying to compare it to something. It's difficult to compare it to maybe Colony, New York. I don't know. Yeah, could be it's very similar to Colony, New York. Uh, but and the reason why I say that is because again, the last time Minnie and I were in Chiang Mai, it was very empty. Nobody was hanging around. In smaller cities with good infrastructure is also cheaper, and that's true. That's true. I mean, I have a friend who's looking for an apartment right now in Bangkok, and of course, Bangkok is a city. It's like New York. It's like New York City or something. um, and he's in order to get a decent place. I mean, a decent, nice place for you know a retired person. I would say that. Uh, I would say that you're looking at somewhere around 900, 500 to $900 a month American money in order to live there. I mean, otherwise, I mean, there are plenty of places to live that would be cheaper, but you have to go further out of the city. The further out from the center of town that you live, the more money it's going to cost you. So that's a fact. So anyway, and here in uh, this part of town, if you go over to Jomtien Beach, you'll pay probably three-quarters less for an apartment for the same type of apartment at Jomtien Beach. Uh-oh, your tummy is not feeling good. You better take care of that. Yeah, you have to be very, very careful. So yeah, so Nipan is right about that as far as costs go. You can find it. You can find it. But I mean, I think comparatively, let's say you compare it to Manila, right? So Manila, you definitely would be able to find an apartment there. I would say in that 350 to $450 range, a decent apartment. I think that can still be done. Jerry from South Texas is in the house. How are you? Thanks for coming to the live. Yeah, if you were in Manila, I don't believe you would have a problem finding the 350 to $450 apartment in closer to the center of the activity, down in the where everybody wants to be. But I think you'd be hard pressed to do that in Bangkok, and definitely if you wanted to be in the heart of the entertainment district here in Pattaya, it's going to be you're going to be in the same boat as you would be trying to find a place. I think in any large city. And so, listen, I'm holding back on the whole cost thing, because I don't want I don't want to ruin your dreams, but living here is becoming a lot like living in the United States. And I've said that before about the Philippines, and I'm sticking to it. And if you are listening, I mean, if you're really carefully listening to the people that live in the Philippines and live in Thailand now on their vlogs, remember a lot of the very successful vloggers that are in these parts of the world, right? They're selling you a dream. That's how they get views. So they're not going to tell you, don't come here, everything is exploding in price. But me, I do this for a hobby. I don't do it for money. They say they do it. They say they do it for the same reason. It's a hobby. I need the money. Read between the lines, folks. Mm. Every time, every time I see myself buffering, I go and I head for the sip of coffee. Yeah. So I'm selling a dream. I'm still saying that it's cheaper to live in this part of the world than the United States. But how much cheaper? I would say that I would say that there are other places in the world to live that are least uh, that will cost you less amount of money. That are more budget friendly. So I think if you do yourself a favor and then do yourself a favor and do your research, and stay away from International Living Magazine. No, I didn't. I don't mean that. They have good information. Yeah, they have good information. Philippines and Thailand, it's some of the articles are just like they haven't even been here. So I mean, I hate to buffer or put a dent in people's dreams, but truth of the matter is things are getting very, very expensive in the Philippines. Okay, so now, Tim, are you going to back me up here? Where's Tim? Tim, Nitban was saying that he's planning on going to El Nido the last week of his overseas journey. Yeah, and I think that's a great idea. I think that's a fantastic idea. I wish I could join you, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure El Nido is in the plan right now. All right, but let's talk about. I mean, I don't even think that Philippines and Thailand may be there in the top 10 of retirement destination cities for American or U.S. expats, but I don't believe the Philippines is in the top 10 as being places they like to go. And But yet, when you watch these YouTube videos, people that are living there, like Geo in the Philippines and stuff, they'll tout very important information, how important it is that people speak English and things like that. And I appreciate that, but uh, they're not spending a whole bunch of time on how the cost of living is going crazy right now in the Philippines and Thailand. Yeah, there might be places that are cheaper, but are the people as friendly as in the Philippines or in the countries or the countries as warm? Yeah, I think that you'll be able to find countries that rival the Philippines, in both those areas, both language and um, both in language and English speaking and friendliness. So for my expenses, Tim says, is less than what I paid for rent in the States. For all your expenses. Yeah, and that's true. That's because it's insane rent. And rent is the great equalizer, but food is not. I just want to lay that out there. Food budget is going to be almost, as far as I can recall, I've been out of the States for whatever, 5 or 6 months. The food budget is almost exactly the same. Right now, they're going through the onion gate, here in the Philippines, right? But I can get onions here in Thailand. I'm a little bit confused about what all is going on there. Uh, I say grow onions. That's what I say. They don't take that long to grow, but maybe you can't grow onions in the Philippines because it's too hot. Maybe you'd have to move to Baguio City in order to grow onions. I'm not sure. And you have to grow it. I mean, I grew onions in the fall and the winter in Sacramento, so I'm not sure. That kind of tells me that onions need a little bit of cold weather in order to thrive and survive. So anyway, I just like to point out that there are challenges with living abroad. Right now, you can depend on rent because it's a little bit cheaper, but even rents are going up. So let's talk about something else I learned. All right, so I had touched on this a couple of times in other live streams about, I think I've touched in other live streams about the number of retirees that from the United States that are living in different countries around the world. That it turns out that number is larger than we thought. And in order to get a more accurate number, you really have to go to the State Department. U.S. State Department is going to keep track of all those passport stamps. When you leave the country or you re-enter, they're recording all that information. They want to see where you're at, what you're doing, were you visiting a friendly nation, that sort of thing. If you keep making too many trips to certain countries, they'll send somebody over to talk to you about that, saying, "What are you doing in a foreign country? Spending all your time and your money there?" They'll want to know. They'll want to know details. Let's see. Where was I? Hello, Bobby, baby. How are you? Thank you so much for making comments and watching my videos. I truly appreciate you. Nipan, Larry, Thai people are also very friendly and accommodating. There's a language barrier I agree with. The food is good in Thailand. I also love original Filipino food. Okay, so now you open up a can of worms, did you not, Nipan? Yes, you most certainly did. Tell us what the hell you're talking about when you're talking about original Filipino food. So uh, that's the thing. And so as we progress forward and see, I've said this before, the Philippines is going to adopt Levi's way before Thailand will. Thailand is very happy with their culture. They're very happy with the way things work there, right? And honestly, I would sacrifice, and you guys probably know this about me already by watching the lives. I would give up the communication part any day of the week over the preservation of culture. When those two things are in play, I'm kind of like, I kind of feel more comfortable where people are trying to. But here's the thing: in the Philippines, U.S. Western culture is a integral part of the culture. That's the whole thing. And that is the reason why a lot of expats from the West, from the United States, the Philippines. Jessa, how are you? Are we ever going to meet, Jessa? So, anywho, what can I say? They like Levi's. They like Levi's in the Philippines. Mouse pad button. So you're probably gonna hear a click now. Nitban hates the click. Nitban, the Philippines is easier for visas and how long you can stay on your visa. Plus, I qualify for the military SRV. Well, actually, Thailand, I don't know. It's comparable, because there's an income requirement in Thailand. There's an income requirement in the Philippines. But yeah, probably in general, it's true that they're less stringent in the Philippines, but they're becoming a lot less stringent in Thailand too, because they want retirees to go there. That requirement to have only $1,885 per month in pension payment is pretty decent. Pretty decent thing, I would say, that Thailand is doing. So it would be nice to be able to float back and forth between Thailand and the Philippines, and so I'm thinking, man, maybe Minnie and I should get retirement visas somewhere down the road in Thailand. But I think there is another caveat to that. I think that in Thailand, they don't really want you. If you're going to retire there, they'd like for you to retire there, and spend so much time per year there. They don't want you. They don't really like you exiting and entering the country, because they're like anybody to spend your money there. Thanks, Larice. I know I'm buffering. Every time I buffer, I take a sip of coffee. I didn't really know that we were this long alive. So, because I'm having so many problems with the internet. But hey, if there's a time to do a live stream from a hotel that has unstable internet, this is the time to do it. Larry says, took up snorkeling when I was in the Philippines back in '74 while there in the Navy. So, buffering, yes, it's a headache. It's a headache. Maybe I should show you my avatar. Oh, dang, there's my avatar. Oh, there's the Jollibee. Jollibee's on duty outside of the Jollibee and Bye Bye City Leyte. Which Minnie and I will be back home in a couple weeks. So Thai culture has more in common with my own culture. Filipino culture is more in line with American culture. Well, Niban, you're going to have to show me where to get. You're going to have to show me where the good restaurants are, because I got to tell you, every time I want to change, I want to go in and eat some ethnic food. You know what ends up happening? They jam me up. They jam me up for $1 million. So I hope that if there's one thing that you can help us find, it's some ethnic food that won't cost me a fortune here in this part of Thailand. I hope you could help with that. Mamini and I would truly appreciate it. Yeah, they were making people leave the country every couple of months, but it's pretty easy to get a visa. I have a friend going through it right now. That minimum income, monthly income, pension, or proof of income, it's working out just fine. So, how you doing, Anime? Anime, what do you say? Have a great day. Jollibee. Jollibee. Yeah. And so, uh, yeah, sure. The Philippines. So the thing is that if you're outside a major city, 45 minutes, like where, Sunshine Shoulders lives, or Steve at the Philippine Information Channel, you're going to be fine. You're going to be fine for a little while until the rents start going up. But the number I wanted to share with you is that, so you have at any one time, because people are dying all the time, more people are becoming retired on a daily basis. I'm not sure about, because I'm on the ballot beyond privilege. I got a sweet deal, Crystal, because all I do is I enter the Philippines. We show our marriage certificate and a few other documents, and they just stamp the passport. It's not even a visa; it's just a balik bayan, right? And so again, they don't really want you entering and leaving the Philippines so often. So how many passport stamps you have in that passport is going to count for something somewhere down the road. For example, they may say, "Oh, it's obvious that you live here, so apply for the retirement visa." So I mean, I'm going to have to do it eventually. But for right now, I can enter and stay a year visa free under Balik Bayan privilege, and then renew it up to 3 years, right? So you do that a few times, and then um, you do that a couple of times. 6 years, 7 years down the road, they may say, "Hey, you have to apply for the visa." But I think I'm not going to do it until somebody actually forces me to do it. But other benefits are is that other things we can do in the meantime is that we have to get a mini dual citizenship, which is just a paperwork thing. No big deal. Mildred, how you doing, Mildred? Thanks for coming to my live. Yeah, so it's no big deal getting me the dual citizenship thing, and then I'll worry about myself later, because I'm not in a hurry to get all this stuff done. There isn't a big reason for getting this done right away, unless you can point one out to me. Oh, you hear the fireworks in the background? Larry, the Philippines has the best places for snorkeling. I've been to Hawaii, but Hawaii fades in comparison to what the Philippines has to offer. And I agree. I went snorkeling off uh, the coast of Boracay there many years ago, and the color of the tropical fish in the tropics and all that other stuff is just absolutely amazing. And the number of different kinds and varieties of species of fish is amazing. And that's why people go there to go scuba diving and snorkeling. I'm late. I thought you were going. Yeah, I know. I messed up on the time again. listen, listen. I don't know. I don't know if I should be in charge of doing announcements for when I'm going to do my live streams anymore. Think we'll put Ma'am Minnie in charge of that. She'll get it right. Larry says hello. Good morning from Larice.
Hi.
Yes. Crystal's adventure is the owner of an elephant. The owner of an elephant. Oh my goodness! I'm glad I didn't have to have that elephant stuff. Yeah, exactly what's going on here. You know me so well. Here they have Mr. Donut. Jake Hudson's in the house. Jake the snake. Yes, indeed. What else? All right. So I was talking about now. So I don't want to be the dream spoiler, but you better get your butt over here to the Philippines or Thailand quick. The dream is fading. So, and definitely, you're one of the things is you're going to have to stay out of the expensive cities. places like Chiang Mai and for the time being Chiang Rai are good places in Thailand to call home. I've been there. They're nice. You could survive there just fine. So I like Chiang Mai because it has a younger population, or it seems like it does, and it's a more diverse population of folks. Let's see. Speaking of how many people are retired and live overseas. All right. So I did. There's limited research really on this, right? But the fact that people are paying more attention to how many people are living or leaving the United States for other places is definitely catching the attention of the U.S. government. And so they figured that we have somewhere between 45 and 50 million retirees. It's probably a dated number, but it gets you close to where what the actual numbers are. So somewhere between 45 and 50, as a rule of thumb, retirees collecting pension checks or Social Security, which is a lot of people in a country of 230 million people. So you have that's a huge number, and out of that, they think, they don't know for sure, but they think that about 9 million of those people are living overseas. Now, how many people are living in the Philippines? No one really knows. Why? Because a lot of us have our pension checks and our Social Security deposited in our home bank accounts, and then we figure out ways to transfer it over to the Philippines. And so if they don't track that. The State Department is looking at passport stamps. They're not looking at the transfer of money. So when you look at those State Department numbers, right, they're a rough estimate. But they figure, and I've looked at other websites that concur with this, whose information is based on independent study, that there's somewhere between 500,000 and 1 million Americans already living in the Philippines. That's a huge number. And that is probably as accurate of a number as you can get, because you can go walking down the street in any provincial city or major city, you're going to see Americans everywhere. I did want to address something else that I noticed and the reason why this was happening. Let me see what Nip and I say. Okay, I will be the third wheel on your date night in Pattaya. Yeah, exactly. Because food's important and we all have to eat. And so, Nipan, that it tickles me that we're going to meet for the first time in Thailand. We're both from the same region of Northern California, Sacramento. Lived there for years and we never met. What are you going to do? So it's a little bit, it's fun. It's actually fun for me to think about, quite frankly. Oh my gosh. All right. Don't hide there, Sir Dan. We know you're eating a donut. Don't be shy. Yeah, I'm just trying to kill some of the bandwidth, so it doesn't buffer so much. So I doubt the internet, I doubt the Wi-Fi is going to improve while we're on here. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Oh, I was going to talk about another demographic issue that's come up. Okay, so Pattaya is not, or Pattaya, how you pronounce it, I'm not sure how you're supposed to pronounce it, is not as a diverse population of folks as one might want to believe. Right? There's certain areas of Thailand, like the Philippines, right, that are occupied by people from certain countries. And so, for example, you know that if you want to be with Americans, then you're probably going to have to go down to Hua Hin or some other place, right? Jom Tien Beach and Pattaya here in Thailand ain't the place for where Americans are known to congregate for a very long period of time. Generally, they come here for vacation, they get out and they go back home. They come in here for New Year's and Chinese New Year's and they have a blast. They get drunk, they get carried off by the tourist police back to their hotel, and then they come back again and do it the next year. But you would have, if you're interested in living in Thailand, you would have to do your research about that. So anime. Oh my gosh, look at this. And hello to each other, which I appreciate. It is like a little family here. Let's see. Let me see if my cam, let's see what happens if I bring it back up. Oh, there I am. And it would be like an American, going to, wanting to live in Manila. It's going to be more expensive living in Manila than it is in the province. The way that, like I said, can't emphasize enough that really the big difference is rent. It's not electricity, it's not water payment every month, it's not it's not healthcare cost. Well, yeah, it probably is a little bit of health care costs, and food is the price of food. Staples, just basic staples like rice and different things, fruits and vegetables. And the story about onions. Onions are like gold. Didn't they catch a couple of pilots trying to bring in, kilos of rice? Kilos of onion. They're trying to get rich on the the importing of onions is worth more than an ounce of gold. So anyway, let's see. What did Chris have to say? Yeah, so you have to do your you have to do your research. You have to do your research. You might end up finding out that you're spending more money or as much money living in the Philippines or Thailand as you are back home, especially because there are opportunities back in the United States for, and opportunities means that they have subsidized housing and subsidized all kinds of things. In the United States. So if you're, for example, if you're lucky enough to get in one of the senior living apartments or something like that, and you get subsidized housing, well, your rent is probably going to cost you the same in the United States as it is in the Philippines or Thailand or anywhere else in the world. So with all the first world living benefits, why would you be thinking about coming to the Philippines or to Thailand? That's the other point that I was trying to make. So, and they're talking about plans of expanding subsidized housing for senior citizens because it's a huge group of people it's a flood of people that are getting ready to retire all in the next 5 to 10 years. 10,000 people a day or whatever it is until we reach 78 million folks, something like that in the next few years. And so you have to have some comfortable place to put everybody. So that's another reason why you may not want to move. You may want to stay right where you're at. However, there are people like Information Channel, Philippine Information. I've talked about things, things that include, nursing care and long-term care and things like that. It'd be more beneficial for you if you're to move to the Philippines if you wanted to maintain your independent lifestyle that you've become accustomed to back home in the United States. Larry says, Crystal's venture, a person has to put $1,500 in a Philippine bank and the cost to apply is about the same. It is only worth it if you plan on staying. That's true. All true. So let's see. Where am I? Where am I? Knit ban. Knit ban. I'm worried they will stop paying Social Security to the expats when I will be eligible decades later. Yes. And you should be worried about that. But I don't think the talk is not that they will stop paying Social Security. Well, actually, the talk is to raise more cash, to raise your taxes. But the talk is more like discounting it. And so they've tried to listen, they've talked about this before. They've talked about people that live overseas for 6 months at a time should be only paid. People have thrown numbers out there, should only be eligible to receive 70% of their full benefit. So now they're talking about Social Security reform. As you know, folks that are living here in the States, they're talking about reforming it again and raising the age to age 70 before you can even draw a dollar of Social Security payments, in order to maintain the solvency of Social Security. And you know that if a bill like that gains any steam, that there are going to be other tasty bits in there, tasty bits that will make our lives miserable. And so that would mean that once a year you would have to come back to the United States for a period of time. Now, I was checking this out, and I think in certain countries like Australia, they already do this. So there's 6 months in the Philippines, and then there's 6 months in their own country. They move back and forth. But so far, from what I've read, the law in the United States is that you only have to live in the United States for 30 days every year in order to maintain U.S. residency requirements. So that means you have to come back at least once a year. It's a technical thing. It's a technicality. It's a technicality. Nobody pays any attention to it. I just want to point that out. But it has to do with coming back every year in order for you to maintain your U.S. residency. Of course, you could go to Guam. You can go to U.S. territory if you can find a place cheaper to go, but Guam ain't the place. Guam's very, very expensive. I mean, it would cost you $3,000 or $4,000 or $5,000 just for a short-term rental, so you can stay for 1 month, and then it negates the savings. It would negate anything. You might as well go back to the United States, and live on a relative's couch for a month. Since I got my S. Oh, listen, I don't know if you want to talk about, hey now, sounds very personal, Tim. Due to extenuating circumstances. It's always extenuating circumstances that are going to get you, my friend. Yes, indeed. Let's see. It's over 335 million people in the U.S. I was just off by a million. I was just off by 100 million. That's all. No. I lost a decade somewhere. So, yeah, so that's a huge number. So when you talk about 9 or 10 million people living overseas, that's sending a message, all right. That's sending a message. When and 12% of your retires, that is by adding a portability factor to Medi-Cal. You'd save hella money. You'd save that and more. So maybe there has to be a portability factor built into Medicare. I'm sorry, so that people can travel overseas for their medical, and they can get the medical done at the prices that are not crazy, and it would save the U.S. government a bunch of money. It probably would save them as much as what they're paying out in Social Security payments. I know that's a stretch. This stuff just flows out of my mouth. I don't know where it comes from. I just think, I just start thinking, yeah, maybe I shouldn't think. Yeah, if you're going to stay for a while, no discounts. That's a huge sum of money here. Yeah, so I mean, you have to really look at a whole bunch of stuff before making the decision, you know, and a lot of people forget about it. I, I'm not sure that I've heard anybody talking about that aspect of it before. I'm talking about, you know, all the subsidies that seniors get in the United States would make you want to stay home, you know. And I'm not talking about, of course, what I'm talking about is their eligibility requirements for those things. So, for example, you know, I can't tell you, I can't stress. Good morning, Menelin. How are you? Thanks for coming to the live. Um, can't stress enough to you guys how the benefit of having your own place um, is in the Philippines. You know, and apartments. So, yeah, you can get $100 apartments in the Philippines. Of course, you can. I mean, I doubt that you could find that in Bye Leyte, but you could find it in other parts of the Philippines. I doubt that you can find Minnie. Do you remember what we were paying rent for the house when we were renting? How much was it a month?
100.
How much?
100.
Was it 100? No, it was. It was more than that, huh?
Just 3,000.
Oh, okay. How much are they paying rent now? The people that move in the house after we vacated it. How much are they paying rent?
Oh, that was
Didn't I hear they upped the rent times three or something like that?
yeah, yeah, 100 plus something.
Yeah, yeah. It's like 125 or 150
Yeah.
or something like that. Yeah. So anyway, that's my story. I'm sticking to it. Yeah, and so the whole thing is sure, you can find cheap rent in provincial cities, right? The problem is, you know, your access to medical care. Of course, that's the obvious thing. How far do you want to be from a decent public or private hospital? How far would you like to be when um, the red fox moment comes? Well, if you wanted to be, if you want, you would have to be closer, right, to a hospital that puts you in Cebu, that puts you in Cebu, or it puts you in Manila. Come on, folks. And of course, you're going to pay more rent the closer you get to Cebu and Manila. That's the point I'm trying to make here. So, I mean, we have a lot of Filipinas in the house right now. What's your food cost like these days? You know, how much is the price of food? See, I'm spewing all kinds of stuff. I actually know it from fact because, of course, I'm the guy that I'm paying for the food, right, in the Philippines. I'm paying for food in Thailand. I kind of know what the cost of food is, but would you not say that electricity and food is the number one expense? So, mm, yeah, I'm with you on that. Make sure it's warm. There's no reason to be cold. There's no reason to be cold during retirement. That's the one thing I love the most. You know, that's the one thing that I don't even think about anymore. You know, I don't have to I don't have to think about these wild swings in weather, like what's happening in Sacramento, where Nitban is, the Sacramento area. And of course, Nitban's on high ground. You know, Nitban is on Nitban is on high ground. The talk is they will pay only 75% of the full benefit after 2034. Well, you know, 75%, you know, is better than nothing, Nitban. What do you want? You know, it's better than a poke in the eye with a sharp stick, as my old man used to say. Yeah, of course. And retirement benefits. I'm talking about private pension funds. They're in the same situation. You know, if the return on investment is only 75%, they don't have to pay you. 100% of their promised pension obligation. Read the contract. It says they only have to pay you what they're funded for. So no one's held responsible for losing your money. You're putting it in the hands of some you're putting it in the hands of some financial genius who loses your money every year. So what are you going to do? Yeah. Oh, he says they want to raise it to age 85. That means they don't want to give you any money, basically, or they only want you to collect it for a year or two before you pass on. England already did it, as expats won't get the cost of living adjustment. Holy smokes. Ed Denoy is in the house. And his timing's good, right, Ed? Because I'm just speaking the truth, Ed. Ed knows I'm speaking the truth. I'm not selling a dream here. I'm letting everybody know how it is. And there's one more thing. I'm sure that Filipinos won't appreciate, too much. And that is that. The more foreigners that move there, the higher the cost of goods and services. Because, and I noticed this here in Thailand. So I go in the store, right? Just regular department store. Or I go into the Watson's pharmacy. I'm looking on the shelf, right? It's everything that are Western brands, right? Deodorant, toothpaste, you name it. If it's a necessity, soap, Ivory soap, all this stuff, right? If you're a Westerner, you have no problem finding Western brands here in Thailand nor the Philippines. But guess what? As those items come in to the store to sell to the Westerners because they're in demand, and they're going to bring them in because they can make more profit off of those Western brands. What ends up happening is it inadvertently impacts the cost of goods for Filipinos. And you see this in Manila. Listen, people are just starting to talk about this on YouTube channels. They're just starting to talk about it. They're just starting to talk about how things are looking more the same, more the same. What they're talking about is the cost of goods and services they're coming up so high. Onions is just one example of what's going on here. It doesn't have to be onions, but it just happens to be, the thing that has gone up the highest in terms of percentage of increase in price. Foods that require onions, you just can't find over there in the Philippines. They're substituting product in there, not using onions. Yeah, people are growing onion plantations in the Philippines. Man, I am having problem clicking. There, you heard the click, and then it's not staying on the. Maybe I'll switch to my phone. At 85, they're insane. Well, people are living 85 somewhere around the world. They're living to 85 years of age. I apologize for the click, guys. My clicker button is what do they call it? The touch thing is whacking out. Yeah. So anyway, and I didn't bring my external mouse. So that's the story. I'm sticking to it. So what's going on in Thailand? Nice place to visit. Nice place to visit. But another strange thing has happened over the course of weeks, even though Ma'am Minnie has pointed out a couple of times that she's not in a hurry to get back home. I am missing my city late, and so people have asked me how have I adapted to the change of moving from the United States Sacramento area to Bye City Leyte, and I hardly noticed it. It could be because I still feel as though I'm in vacation mode. See, I'm just, on vacation mode. I'm just in vacation mode. But I'm still amazed at certain things, when expats uh, contact me about stuff and they don't take me seriously about stuff, right? It amazes me, particularly the medical care thing, particularly that issue. I guess they don't like hearing that you should save your money, and self-insure. That would be problematic if you're unable to save money. Yeah, that's right, and that's the big deal. Of course, um, I do believe that I was the first YouTuber to report that, Larry, and everybody stole it from me. No, they just started to discover and hear about it little by little. But I started hearing about this, of course, when I was in Sacramento, because, Sacramento, we've got 5 or 6 or 7. We got a network of hospitals and Filipino nurses all over the place. And so you want some advice from a top-notch nurse. You go over to one of those care centers and you talk to a Filipino nurse, and they're going to give you the straight scoop on everything. And that is where I first learned that they were doing this, that they had an association of retired nurses that are pushing Medicare, the Medicare mobility plan. And Medicare is listening to them because they're saying, hey, yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Make sure you have medical insurance except in the Philippines. And there is plenty of medical insurance, Tim. Of course, there's plenty of insurance, but going with that Pacific Cross or whatever that program is, you're better self-insuring. You got to think about all this stuff. You got to do your research on this. Really do your research. Just don't take people's word on this. You have to do the research and make your own decision based on your research. Deval and Dumagetti. I got to tell you something. I'm not a Deval fan, and Dumagetti will just have to wait until I decide to get there. I'm not in a hurry. I'm not in a hurry to go to these areas. I've been to Davao a couple of times. I got to tell you that it's not my kind of city. I just have to tell you, it's just not. And I have a very close friend who lives in Tagum. Tagum City. We'll probably be visiting pretty soon. And he kind of has the same opinion as I do about it. Nice place to visit. Wouldn't want to live there, but he lives there. For a variety of different reasons. Walking up and down hills isn't my idea of fun. I'm more of a flatlander. I suppose I'm in the wrong place. If I don't like, if I don't like living in a hilly area. Philippines is kind of full of hills, everywhere. The Red Fox moment. Elizabeth, I'm coming. Exactly. Yeah. Where will you go when the moment hits? Right? Will you be depending on your Filipina to perform CPR? Is she well trained? Does she watch, YouTube videos on the performing of CPR? Yes, if you're a single guy, I don't doubt that you can get away with spending $200 a month for groceries. But if you're supporting a Filipina and her family, you're looking at $400 to $500 per month. Let's see, if the government don't fix Social Security, well, they're going to fix it by raising taxes and lowering your benefit and making you wait longer in order to receive it. So if you're good with that, it sounds that it's not something that I would sign up for. Yeah. So Larry, give us your perspective on it. How much do you think you spend per month? If you don't want an exact number, why don't you give us a estimate, of what you think you spend? A lot of people don't even keep track of what their food budget is. Yeah. The cola I got pays 90% of my expenses. The cola was pretty big. I'll have to admit. The cola was a lot of money. Let's face it. It was a surprise when it hit the bank account. I was shocked. You know, more money to give away. That's the way I see it. More money to give away to my Filipino friends. California flooded over the last 3 weeks. Now it's old California sun back again. Yes, I'm in the foothills, not a flood zone. Yeah, and I lived in the flood zone, but I was at a whole 25 feet above sea level. But what good is that? I was at the convergence of the American and the Sacramento River. On a bad day, I'd be waiting for the Channel 3 helicopter to rescue me from my rooftop. There's a joke in there, but it's a Sacramento joke. Some of you may or may not get it. Both floods, right? I was in the flood. I was there in the flood in the 1980s, and I was there for the flood in the 1990s. You name it, I cannot. You name it, Dan was there. It's very difficult, to avoid calamity in California. We have all kinds of it. I sell eggs and weed out of my trunk. Oh, there you go. You just in Vegas, yeah. You just open up your trunk and said, "Hey, got some eggs, got some weed. That's the perfect combination." Indeed. The food in Thailand is different. It is different, and I enjoy it. I enjoy Filipino food. I enjoy Thai food, and I think one that I'm so diverse, is because we eat all kinds of stuff in my my background. We eat all kinds of gizzards, lizards, and spiders and snakes. I could just go walk just by any food stand, and no problem at all. No problem at all trying to satisfy my appetite. Yeah. We've enjoyed our time here, but it is the resort feel to it. I mean, it has that resort feel. It's Pattaya, Bangkok was different, because it's a urbanized area. You get out to resort towns of Jomtien Beach and Pattaya, and the whole thing has that resort feel. You have people flying those balloons in the air, and the ski boat this and the ski boat that, and all this other stuff is going on. Oh, good. That sounds great. Hope you know where to go on the cheap. They don't call me low budget Dan for nothing. So anyway, that's where I'm at. I kind of gave you what all I got on Thailand, comparing them with the Philippines, and notice I didn't use the phrase, well, you have to eat like a Filipino. Yeah. Cheese, peanut and jelly sandwiches for me. I'm sure the Philippine people eat peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Listen, when I watch YouTubers and they start talking about if you want to live in the Philippines and you don't have very much money, well, you're gonna have to live like a Filipino. Well, hello, you're in the Philippines, Sacramento, California, exactly. I'm very, very happy not to be there at the moment. Dan, when Social Security was set up, life expense was much lower. Yeah, that's right. Sure was. Yep, what happened, huh? What happened? They're holding us together with duct tape. Quality of life is more important than life in terms of the number of years, right, Larry? Quality of life is the thing. Take me away if I can't have a decent quality of life. So people are living longer because we made huge strides in medical treatment and vaccines and the like. I mean, for crying out loud, they're saying medical science, the medical folks, researchers say, what's the researcher's name? Well, researchers say that if you live the next 10 years, you'll live forever. You'll be immortal because they'll be able to replace every organ on your body. They'll be able to grow it in the lab and sew it into you, and boom, you could live another 100 years. Yeah, we're having lots of memorable experiences. I have about a year's worth of videos that put together. So that'll keep the YouTube thing going for quite a while. Hey, speaking of the YouTube thing, I just want to point out that I'm not a huge fan of other platforms. I just want to point out, I know that everybody is rushing, to run to Facebook because they've stolen some of YouTube's mojo, and so I'm not necessarily a fan of that approach to this business model. But I guess in order to be rich these days, there are no new ideas. You steal the idea from somebody else and then deploy it. I mean, YouTube themselves, they're doing shorts. You know where the shorts came from. You know what kind of a thing they're trying to emulate. They're probably trying to get people away. They're trying to steal people from TikTok away, and everybody is monetizing everything. And so your resources, your time, is going to be spread over all these different platforms, and then you're just going to wait to see which one you get a bank on, And so now I understand Facebook is the flavor of the day, but I won't be on Facebook other than to promote this channel if I get it going at all, and I haven't done much at all. If you've been on my Facebook page, you'll see that I haven't posted anything in like 10 years. Nipan says, I don't know much about Pattaya. I've been there a short duration during my way to Koh Chang. Try May Sri Ruin on the beach road near the Central Mall, and Jasmine's Cafe. They were good. Okay. Central Mall. By the way, we've been missing, I don't know if you know it or not, but Marco from Overstay Road is somewhere around here in town, and we keep missing them. Sometimes by mere minutes. Oh, you're looking for Marco. Marco was just here. So we've been hanging around. Minnie and I we've been chasing Marco around, but I think we're going to cut it out. That's kind of childish. That's Marco from Overstay Road. If you don't know what his channel's all about, you might want to take a peek. Some people like him. Some people don't. I happen to be a guy who likes his channel. What can I say? What can I say? Crystal, if you like spicy, then you will like me. Words to remember, words to put back in the old memory banks. I'm saving for my cryogenic preservation costs. Yeah, but hey, you could avoid having to pay all that money if you just live another 10 years. If you live 10 years, you'll have it all. They'll be able to just remanufacture in a lab, ears, nose, tongue, whatever ails you, heart, liver, kidneys. You won't have to go cut out anybody's kidney. All you'll have to do now. After a while, you probably can grow your own. Grow your own at home. Crystals, you're my favorite. Where have you been all these times? That's right. I have told Crystal that a couple of times. She needs their live streams all the time, or else. Or else. What did you say, Dad? Oh, Ed Denoy, don't talk like that. You don't want to be. Hey, Ed can be frozen, if he wants to be frozen like a popsicle. Oh my goodness gracious. Chris, what's happening, Chris? No one knows. Yeah, if you go search for him online, you'll see that thing that I came up with that I saw, which was a resume, which makes me think that he's busy doing something. He's busy selling himself so he can make some money. But I think he would have done fine on a monetized YouTube channel. I think he would have done just fine. We would have all flocked to his videos, the walking videos around, Osmina Circle. That's all he had to do was just walk around Osmina Circle. We'd all would have watched. We all would have watched his live streams, even with the copy, even if he didn't use copyright music, we still would have watched, right? Because it's very, very interesting, very fun, very informative at times. Right? Knit Band, here eating spicy noodles in the mountains. Oh, yummy. That sounds yummy. We're coming to the mountains. We are coming to the mountains. That's the only place to get spicy noodles is at Crystal's house. $10 by freezing it. I think not, sir. Freeze everything. Freeze everything. Somehow I think I missed something, right? I missed the joke somehow. But anyway, that's because I'm too full of myself right now. So anyway, that's about what. Anyway, it's supposed to be a crazy night tonight because we're going out there. It's Chinese New Year Eve, so that means there are going to be dragon dances and, naked people walking down the street and a whole bunch of silliness going on out there. How could you miss that? Why would you want to miss that here in Pattaya, Thailand? There is one thing that I started talking about, and then I started reading the comments. I got off going in a different direction. Yeah, the don'ts are definitely calling. But before I go, right, I just wanted to, this makes perfectly good sense, but I just wanted to talk about it briefly, not to cause trouble. I just want to talk about it briefly, right? And that is that I had said earlier that Pattaya is not as diverse of a population of folks that it used to be. And that is because a lot of people got stuck here when the United States imposed travel sanctions. That's the only point I was making about that. I wasn't going to talk about, the groups of people and it's a difficult situation for them to be in here in Pattaya because they're stuck. They can't get a plane out. They can't get a direct flight back to their countries in a lot of cases because there were sanctions imposed. And so it's become a little bit rough situation for some people that are here at Jomtien Beach and Pattaya. And so I've been here plenty of times before, and it's plenty diverse for me, and we're talking in the historical past, there are just people from all over the place. But except for one thing, right? I doubt that there's another Filipina anywhere in Thailand other than Minnie being here. No, that isn't true because I know that there's a Filipino town somewhere here. Hey, Tim Rohn, thanks for joining us. I'm so happy to see you here. Thanks for being here. Yeah, so they've been coming up. So Filipinos. So here's the thing. It's a cultural thing, when you go up to another Thai person, you greet them, they return the greeting. And so I've talked about this before, and Mam Minnie is well trained now. So since she looks so much like a Thai, then they keep coming up and greeting her. And I was telling Knit Band, I wasn't gonna say like Russians, the way that you just said it. I was trying to avoid saying Russians, and then here you just blurt it out like that. But yeah, Russians, okay? They're stuck here through no fault of their own. And I feel bad for them because if you've traveled to Russia, which I have, because after all, I am a knit band fan, a world traveler. Except I have not been to, I haven't been to Sri Lanka or India or some other countries, but I plan on going there. Well, anyway, here's the thing.